everyone, hope you're all good. So we're back with another episode of Car Park Convos. I'm RESHMA.
I'm Cav.
And today the topic is, it sounds so like weird when young. Today we're going to talk about, today we're going to talk about like slang words. And we thought we'd have a little chat about what kind of slang words kids use these days, what we use, when you should stop using slang words.
Yep, that's a big one.
Or just certain words anyway. But yeah, basically I asked, what would you classify as slang? Depends.
I mean, slang for me is just, I rarely use the slang I used to use as a kid. Now,
Give me an example.
The word safe. You know, people are like, yes, safe. Like, you know, it's funny because that one word, can mean a billion different things. It could mean goodbye. It could mean hello. Like, you notice that? It's like, yo, safe. I'm just like, just say hello. What's wrong with saying hello?
Or
now?
it could mean that's okay.
Yeah. But that one word is so like, you know.
I still have friends older than me who use that word. I feel like that's one that's okay.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's so like generic.
I changed from using safe to cool. So someone's like, yeah, all right, cool. Cool, see you later.
Yeah, I don't think I personally use safe as like in normal day-to-day use. Or like you can be like someone's safe.
What do you mean someone? As in someone's like safe and sound?
Yeah,
Okay,
or like
okay.
he's pretty safe.
Yeah.
Like he's alright.
But why would you say that and be like, yeah, he's pretty cool, or like she's pretty cool?
I think I would. I genuinely think I would use cool over safe, but
I do that now.
Yeah.
Like even when I'm texting, I'm trying to like be more, I don't know,
use
just
proper English.
not proper English, but just not as slangy as before. You know what I mean? It's
CUL8R.
Ali G.
Yeah, like we have we don't have like what is it, a text limit anymore, but some people still text like that. Honestly,
Your text limit.
the fact that like now there's like predictive texting and or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
I can't understand when people use U as in the letter U or C as in for C. I'm just like, why do you do that? You have unlimited characters.
Yeah, true.
You could just write the whole word.
I mean, I'm like when I text now, it's like I said, it is full as much as I can.
Yeah.
I'm using punctuation and this and that. And sometimes you just want to be like, all right, cool, see you in 2, but I'll never write see you in and then a letter 2, you know.
No, I wouldn't either, but it's just funny when I see people. And do you know what? I'll be honest with you, it's mainly people older than us.
Really?
Yeah. I swear to God, people older do that. And I think that's probably because they're used to texting on like an old school phone where
You have
the character limit on your text messages.
Any younger people listening or watching right now, you know, back in the day, we used to have pressed a shit ton of buttons to get to like one letter, you know.
It was fine though. Everyone was like so quick at it.
I don't know, but did you ever use the predictive on the keypads? I
used to. There was a point when it got better and actually got the right word.
Like my cousins, they were sick at it. They were like, I was like, how are you using these predictives? I'm still trying to press.
The problem with predictive is it gives you the whole word, and if you've got 180 characters in a text message, you can't be using, and you got maybe £5 credit.
Oh my God, credit! It's before contract days. I remember my first contract phone as well back in the day.
I didn't get a contract until I went to uni.
Really?
Yeah.
I got a contract when I was like 13.
Oh, did I? I don't remember now.
Yeah, back in the day. I remember I got here. I was just like,
you spoiled. Contract. That's why.
Well, actually, the reason I got a contract, I wasn't spoiled. I think it was like guilt because my mum and dad moved us to a place that we really didn't want to move to, and I was just like, well, you owe us, really.
Get me a good, decent phone.
Yeah.
And laptop and everything I can get.
Pretty much.
Okay, so I think we kind of obviously went off slang words. So slang words, any other slang words? And I think, like I said, I think safe is okay still to use. I don't personally use it, I know that you don't, but no. I think it's okay.
No. So safe is, okay, what would be your word then? As in, what words do you...
Like what we maybe used back in the day and don't now.
Go on.
If someone says, what guan?
Wagwan.
Yeah, or however you say it, because clearly I cannot say it. Anyone who says that now, I'm just like, Like, I don't know how to answer that. How do you answer that? Like, what do you say to that?
Safe. No, I'm joking.
Like, what is the response?
Um,
Nothing's going on.
Wagwan, yeah, like, I don't know. People say Wagwan. Do you know what?
Is it like hello?
If people say it to me, I'm like, cool. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. You? That's it.
Oh, so it's like, how are you?
Yeah. I think I think Wagwan has like turned into what you're saying.
Okay.
I think it's like transitioning to that over years. You know, a lot less people saying Wagwan. Instead they're saying, oh, what are you saying?
I'd like to think so.
WIS.
I mean, all of these things I'd say for jokes. If we were ever, do you know what I mean? Like, you'd say it just for a bit of a laugh, but in actual serious conversation. So that would be one that if someone used now, and I would never use it, and I would just be like,
I mean, you don't seem like the person to use Wagwan.
Oh, back in the day,
Oh, really?
WAG1.
Yo, I completely forgot about that one. That little abbreviation.
The thing is, I could never say it, so I'd never say it in real life. But I put it into text, which is really weird. Like, 14-year-old RESHMA thought she was so cool.
Do you know what's funny? That I noticed people down south, people from the Midlands would spell it differently. So Midland people would be WAG1, like wag, like they'd be like wag1, like yeah. But then people from down south, they'd be like wagwan. Like I think that they'd say it properly. That's just something I noticed.
Yeah, but I feel like you've obviously lived down south, and you've probably seen, and then obviously seen people in the Midlands.
Yeah. I'm nothing against that. I just thought it was just like it's quite funny when you say it in like a different accent.
I mean, you say it very well. I genuinely, I'm not going to say it again ever.
What?
Because just
wagwan.
No, I'm not saying it. That was so terrible. Okay, any other words?
Do you know what? I'm still struggling because do you know what? Because I rarely use all these slangs these days, or sometimes it'll come to me like randomly.
Okay, what do we think? This isn't one that I think people would have used or I used when I was younger, but peng.
Peng. You know what? I used that a lot. You remember like the kidulthood, adulthood type of days that going back like what?
I never heard that on anything.
Peng. Do you know what? I don't like how the word peng means loads of things. There's like peng and then there's like leng.
So leng I only heard for the first time last year.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So like peng,
sheltered life island.
It means the same thing, right?
Oh, does it?
I don't know. What does leng mean?
I have no idea.
People think, yeah, that's leng. So I'm thinking, that's a good thing.
Anyway, like, extra
peng and leng. I don't know why have the same word mean the same thing with just one letter that's different.
I don't know.
Pointless, bruv.
So leng I've never used in my life because I didn't even know what it meant. I never heard of it till last year. Peng, I'll use peng to describe food. This is honestly that's the only thing at the time.
What, peng?
And I'd use it not even like real life. I'll just put it in like on an Instagram story. I'll take a picture of some food and be like, "This is peng," but it's not some. It's kind of a joke. Like if you know me, you know that I don't speak like that.
No, you don't.
And if I ever say it, it's just like I'll say it, but as a bit of a joke. But yeah, I will. That's the only time I've used peng.
Do you know what? Slang changes from who you're speaking to as well. Like if I'm speaking to like an old school friend, you know what I mean? It changes. If they know me for a long time, they'll know how my language has changed over time. But if someone I've not seen in ages and they talk to me like, it's like subconsciously, I'm just like, yeah, I'll be like, who the hell am I? Why am I talking like? I'll be like, why am I talking like this?
Would you revert back to like when you used to speak to that person and how you used to speak?
But if I catch myself doing that, then I'd change back to how I speak now.
Yeah.
And be like, look, we're not kids anymore. I don't think I should be talking like this, personally.
I agree, but then there's a part of it which is kind of funny. Like, I think slang's just, like, funny sometimes.
It's funny. But there's some words I just genuinely be like, why am I still using this? I'm trying to think, like, what would those words be? But when I catch myself saying it, I'd be like, oh, yeah, I really can't give an example right now because I can't think of an example. But, yeah, so there's other bits and bobs. I have no idea what some of these words that the internet comes up with,
Like, I'll be honest, if I was going to say one that I've heard recently that I'm like, what the hell, it was leng. And then someone older than me was like, how have you not heard that?
Leng.
Yeah, that was one that I didn't know. I had to Urban Dictionary what that meant.
Okay, the word piff. So piff is like, yo, she's piff, like.
No.
Then it's like, it could mean weed as well.
That's the only reference of piff that I.
What? As in like weed?
Yeah.
See, I heard there's a
I've
piff is
never,
like, yeah, she's piff or that's piff, da da da. But
I've
I
never
never
heard
knew.
anyone describe a person as piff.
You know what's really funny? So the word drip, right?
Oh,
That's like a
yeah.
newish one. Or dripping. Like, oh yes, dripping. Right?
Okay.
Like this person's dripping. Years ago, I'm talking years ago, yeah. Shout out to my brother if he's listening. He was like, oh, let's make up some slang words or whatever. And he just comes out with like, yeah, that's dripping. And I was like, what the fuck is dripping? He was like, I don't know, it's making it up as I go. I was like, what? And me and my other cousin,
Oh, too late now.
me and my other
Too late
cousin,
to
we
claim
were
that.
like, dripping? Why are you saying dripping for? And then look at it, lo and behold, like 15, almost 20 years later, dripping's a thing. I looked at it, I was like, what's going on? It's actually quite funny.
That's actually mad. But yeah, drip. I would never personally use drip in a sentence.
Oh, I don't know what. Okay, so a sentence would be,
I like your drip.
okay.
Yeah, that was more of a question. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't be like, yeah, I like your drip. I'd be like, oh, nice start, nice outfit, nice whatever. But yeah, the younger people these days, they have an abbreviation of everything. You know, everything.
They do.
Sometimes the abbreviation is longer than the actual word that would have been. You know, or a sentence or whatever it is. You know, they shorten down. They're not even just words; they're whole sentences.
Like, what do you mean?
Okay, so like I'd still type sometimes. What do you mean? Not WDM, like WDM.
Is that a thing? If
Yeah.
someone sent me WDM, I wouldn't...
WYM or something like that. What you mean?
Oh, WDYM. God, we just sound like so old right now. What is wrong with us? No, I wouldn't even know what that means. Or like, I know that you'd text WYS.
Yeah, what you saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I still do that every now and again. But most of the time I try and get the words out.
Or like IDK.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, this
Someone's
is good.
gonna watch this and be like, "What is she talking about?" She messages this, and sometimes when I haven't got time, I may abbreviate, but only like popular abbreviations.
But then it depends who you're speaking to, because English people would get that abbreviation, but then you get people from around. I know a lot of friends and stuff around the
I also
world.
want to send my mum a text going, "Mum, my food is paying," or "Your food is paying." She'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, my mum's
IDK, your food is paying. But no, she. Yeah, so it depends who you're talking to, I guess.
like, because there's different slangs for all around the world. Not, I mean, we're just talking about UK slang here, people. So, you know, if you lot got some weird slang that anyone listening around the world, like, please let us know what your slang would be, because that'd be quite funny to hear.
Yeah.
Different variations from around the world.
Because obviously there's loads of American slang.
Yeah, I think American
well.
slang. There's a lot of stuff that came here, and some people just like. I'm just like, why would you say some of these things? But then, slang is slang. If the same word is there, then you know.
I think drip is an American, would be an American originated slang word. I mean, really don't know. This is just a guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'd definitely say that. I'd say drip is American. Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know what else to say.
Have you
about
ever
that.
heard anyone talk about your goms?
Okay, goms. All right, listen, yeah, goms. That's a big one, because back in the day, my grand people know this, innit? Like, Wiley, I wear my own goms. Remember that track?
I mean, no, but I can imagine.
Like, Wiley released a track time ago, like, wear my own goms, man, see me. You know, it's just, I forgot, I don't even know the lyrics now, but that was a big tune. But goms is like, that's a word that I completely forgot about till now.
Okay.
Till you just said it. So, I used to use that word a lot. Yeah, I'll check out my new goms, whatever. But now it's just, I have new clothes. Like,
We are grown up.
it feels weird, like, talking about this now. Yeah, I do feel grown up talking properly. Kind of. You know, I'm not saying I talk like the people of, what's that show? The posh show on Netflix. On Downton Abbey.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Is it Downton Abbey? I don't know. It's one of
Yeah.
them shows, isn't it? So
I don't watch it, but I know what you mean. But the thing is, I think a big part of it is also to do with work. Depending on if you go into a working environment where you're, like, for example, I've only ever worked in corporate environments. So for so long,
Okay.
I've been in offices where you have to talk properly. I think it naturally just means that I talk like that. Yeah, and sometimes, like I said, it depends who you're with, but
It does depend who you're with.
yeah, but naturally, I think I just don't use those words because 5 days a week, I don't.
Yeah, fair enough. That makes a lot of sense. I don't like how some of my friends abbreviate, even like the shops, you know, the stores that we go to. Back in the day,
How do you abbreviate?
okay, great. Like,
a shop?
sorry, okay. If Liam, if you're listening, like, you're gonna laugh because this is about my mate Liam. Anyway, so he would go to like Morrison's or Tesco's, but he wouldn't say Morrison's or Tesco's. He'd be like, "You'll go Morrow's," or "We're going Tegos." I was like, I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, "What'd you say, mate? What'd you say, Liam?" He was like, "Tegos." I was just like, "Do you mean Tesco's?" And he was like, "No, Tegos." And
The thing
just sort
is,
of think
you're
about
not
it.
actually shortening it. It's not a long word to shorten.
Yeah,
You're
no, I
using the same amount of syllables.
Looking back now, I just find it so funny. It's just a funny word to me now. It's not even slang. It's just like, yeah, Tegos.
Or like Sainzos.
Say no. Oh, he'd say
I'm pretty
say
sure-
no. He'd say say nos. And say nos is funny because I was like, that's actually quite funny. I like that. You know, like say nos.
That one shortens it, so it's okay. But if you're gonna do the same amount of syllables in a word, but just change the word.
Yeah, but those are like abbreviations for like stores and stuff.
That's quite funny.
But like, there's a difference between slang and abbreviating, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if I'm going like Krispy Kremes, I'm just going KKs.
I have never heard that in my life.
Like KKs is just a thing that I say. If I'm going Krispy, I get some KKs. Because that's a good abbreviation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but is that something you use?
I use KKs. It just says if someone knows KKs, then they'll be like, yeah, it's KKs. But just
Maybe that's because no one gets me KKs.
there you go. See, buy yourself some donuts.
Right. No, that makes sense. What other slang words?
I don't even know because we rarely use them.
I know it's really
hard
difficult.
to think of any slang words. Because I was going to ask my cousin about some slang, but obviously I just didn't get time. So, you know.
Because I think it was also dependent on who you're around massively, because the fact that, so my sister, I feel like she knows more words than my brother, who's younger but isn't around anyone who uses slang words.
I feel like your brother should though. He's at uni. He's in a city.
He's at uni in the middle of lockdown where they're not going into uni. He's not interacting with any students.
Yeah, but what year? Is this his first year or second year?
Second.
Okay, so last year he was in lockdown, innit? So
Yeah, so he's not really heavy.
yeah.
But even then, he's not like, I know the people that he's around, and he's not around anyone who would be using those kind of slang words. Like, genuinely, I didn't even ask him.
Depends what those kind of people are. Do you know what? People who use those type of slang words.
Oh, there's no, I'm just saying people who use them. They could be anyone, because like you could say that we've used them before, and then people would judge us on it. But you
true.
can't.
You can't really judge people in slang. It's true because everyone has their own slang. Like farmers have their own slang. You know, they're like farmer slang.
Farmer slang.
Yeah. You like people in the ghetto, like, you know, people in like those neighborhoods. Still
I mean,
use
what's
their
funny? Slang in different parts of the country. Like you just mentioned earlier on, something about London versus Midlands. So obviously I've lived in Manchester and I've been around up north quite a lot, and they just have different words. I don't know if they're slang or they're just like that's vocabulary. Like for example, food. Scran. Do you want to go for a scran?
Yeah, because you know what? Okay, thank you for clearing that up for me, because every time I'll go on like Instagram or something with like only scrans, and I'd be looking at that, I was like, what the hell does that mean? What the hell's scran? Okay, now.
Oh, that's kind of funny that
now
someone's done only scrans, like only fans.
Yeah, only scran,
Yeah,
but it's just
funny.
for food, and I was just like, what the hell is this? I had no idea. I was just like baffled by it.
I mean, I didn't hear it until I actually went up north and moved there. It's the first time I heard it. So yeah, do you want to go for a scran?
But then we can take it one step further. Like you'll have like different dialects and whatever. But then you got like slang, like Cockney slang, you know, which is like London slang, but a part of London slang.
The actual Cockney slang, do people actually use that?
I think people, as actual Cockneys do, like, you know. But then I think movies made it more, you know, accessible to normal people, so they'd be using Cockney slang. I know. Since watching like Only Fools and Horses, Del Boy will be using. I know it's not Cockney, but he'll be using slang like that. He'll be like, all right, you know, and you get into that, like geezer, like proper geezer. I I like that type of slang. It's just fun to use.
I think that's cool,
sometimes.
but I just don't think that's what people today actually use, like on a whole.
I think the old boys do still.
Oh, maybe.
Definitely the old boys. Like if you go to
If you're in
that
London
part of
anywhere
London.
and you know that they use Cockney slang, like actually do, or you've heard someone use it,
Yeah.
let us know. I'm generally curious because I'm not, obviously I don't live in London, but the times I've been down, I don't think I've ever come across anyone who's actually just like speaking like that.
For me, I like to make jokes about slang. So if someone says something to me, like even today, you were saying how like, oh, the camera keeps falling down. So I was like, oh, Alicia Keys, right?
Okay.
Because she has a song called Falling. So for me, be like, yo, why Alicia Keys? You know?
That's not slang though.
It's
That's
not
a joke.
No, it's not slang, but it's for me, it's kind of like slang. So it'll replace the word falling for Alicia Keys. Like,
Okay.
or I'm trying to think of examples that I just randomly say. It's
I
funny
feel like
to
you
me.
do that a lot though. You're quite quick like that.
I'd say it sometimes, but sometimes people don't get it. They're like, "What? What are you talking about? What are you? What? What are
Yeah,
you?"
because they're just like.
True. There's one T-Pain one I use because he's got loads of songs, and there's T-Pain. What did I use for T-Pain? Okay, I'll get back to you on that one. But there's this funny T-Pain one I used to use.
Have you ever heard anyone say, "Do you want to go for a mooch"?
Huh?
That's a no.
Mooch.
Yeah.
That sounds more like. Okay, this is what I picture in my head when if someone ever said that to me. Want to go for a mooch? Let's go for a milkshake. Yeah.
Okay.
Or let's go make out somewhere. Let's go for a mooch.
No, it's like go for a drive.
A mooch. Yeah, no, you know. Where's that from? Up north?
Yeah.
Okay. Mooch. That's that funny word.
I'm
What's wrong with just saying, yes, let's go for a drive?
I mean, what's wrong with saying a lot of things that we change or people have changed words to? But yeah, that's one from up north.
I think the reason of slang is to, to be quicker. That's why people use slang in the first place. That's why it's abbreviated, right?
No, I don't agree. Because I think a lot of these, they're not abbreviations, they're just completely different words.
So the word slang, apparently, I don't know, don't quote me on this, people, but slang, right?
Yeah.
Shortened language. Slang.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I was days old when I learnt that.
Yeah, because that's what I mean. That's why the word slang, shortened the language.
Wow, mind blown emoji.
That's why I was just like, oh, okay, it just makes things quicker.
I don't think that's the case though. People just be using random words. Like, do you know what? Recently, I say recently, in the last 5 years, I've never used this word, but I've heard people in Leicester use the word doosty.
Doosty? Like, are they...
Yo, what when I hear people use it, some of my friends do, and I know what it means now. Okay, but wait. I remember when I first heard it, I was like,
when I think doosty, I think this is what I think. People are like
dusty.
Yeah, dusty. Like what?
Yeah.
What you just mispronounced the word dusty. A bit doosty, but it does sound very Midlands, right? It's just like very.
It is very Leicester, I think.
Okay. What the hell does it mean?
I think it just means like kind of gross.
What, doosty?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's got to be a new word.
No, it's actually not that new. I've genuinely heard my friends use it probably in the last 5 years. But it's just a funny word. Yeah,
that's hilarious. Doosty. That's actually never heard of that. Next time I go to Leicester.
Please ask someone.
I'm gonna ask someone who's proper Leicester, because proper Leicester people, they'll speak differently to other people. They'll be like, instead of saying "How are you," someone "Ow ya," like one word, "Ow ya." I'm just like, but now because I've been working there and this and that, I know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
And when I first moved to the Midlands, imagine moving from the city to where I live. You know where I live. It's like middle of nowhere, white suburbia. Anyway, so when I first moved there, people were like, "You're right, ducky."
Oh, but that's cute.
Never knew what that meant in my life. And I remember looking at my brother like, that woman just called me a duck. Like, what? What's going on? It's so weird.
No way.
Yeah.
You genuinely didn't, you've never heard anyone call someone a duck? Not a duck.
A duck, but yeah.
Not a duck. Just generally duck.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that's really cute.
But as I got to know the area, whatever, I think it's kind of a thing that, right, you know, mostly old people say it.
That's one of my most favourite things about, like, the North. Not just, by North I don't mean north of here, I mean like Midlands and North, is that they use cute words like that, or like chicken. My favourite thing about chicken. Manx is when they're, you're right, chicken. It's so cute.
You're right, chicken.
Yeah.
That's what I can't even do with my Mancunian accent.
I don't think I did a good one with it.
You lived there. Your accent should be better than mine.
Mancunian is the hardest accent to do. It's like, you don't want to sound Bradford, but you also can't sound like Yorkshire, because that's Yorkshire.
Yorkshire. Yorkshire.
I don't know.
Is that Yorkshire?
Yeah, it's Yorkshire.
Ah.
I think so. Someone's going to be like, that's so not Yorkshire.
Yeah, but everyone has their own variation of their accent. Unless you live there, you're not going to sound like you're from there. Unless you've got the accent down on perfect.
Yeah, I genuinely think Mancunian is one of the hardest accents to do. And considering I have so many Mancunian friends, I cannot do it. Yeah, any more for any more. Do you know what's so bad? Because we don't speak with a lot of slang words, it's really hard to just, like, we haven't, like, obviously prepped this, so we've just kind of we've just come up with the ones that we can think of.
I mean, okay, here's one for you. As a woman, back in the day, let's say like 6 years ago, or 10 years ago when you're at university. Anyway, a long time ago when you were at uni, if a guy came up to you and started talking like, "Yo, you say babe, it's cool, yeah," like talking like that. Like, some people talk slang, like not like in that kind of way.
Was that more to do with the words or the way you said it?
A bit of both.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because they'll start using words. They won't talk. I mean, if someone spoke to you like that as a woman, how would you feel? Talking slang and just talking with a more, like, in a less proper way. It's not less proper. It sounds really wrong when I say it. Everyone has their own way of speaking. But
I see what you mean. I mean, depends how far the other way that it was, to the point where I'm like, what? Can you say that again, please? Then I would be like, but I would understand that. That's fine. As long as I can understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. But if you say it in a way where I genuinely, like, every word is slang word, I have no idea what you just said.
That makes sense.
But then, like I said, it's weird because I've spoken to people who probably use a lot of slang words and then hear me speak, and you might have got the same where they're like, "Oh my god, you speak really proper."
I get that sometimes. I feel anyone that's not from the UK, and if you speak with slang or how you speak, people from outside the UK is like, "You sound so posh. You sound so posh," and it's really not posh.
But I think that's you can understand why, but it's when it's people in the UK to tell you sound posh. That's when it's like,
I think I got that once or twice, but, you know, it's just how you present yourself, I guess. Nowadays, I feel like speaking properly is more towards my age and getting there.
I think it's just naturally, but that's what happens. It's naturally the people you are speaking to. Most of them probably speak how you do. So
there's some words that I still take from these kids these days, you know. Like, yeah,
from the youths.
That's cool. Yeah, from the youths, yeah. You know, I still use the word, "Oh, that's fire. That's pretty cool. That's." I use the word "sick." "Oh, that's sick." I think that's something I grew up with.
I do, yeah. To be honest, I use sick. Not as much as I used to. I will never go, "That's fire." I'll send a fire emoji. But I'll never go, "That's fire."
That makes more sense. Yeah. I'd never write the word fire. I'd be like, "Yo, that's fire." Or I'd never use, like, "That's 100." I'd always put the emoji 100.
Yeah, no, me too. Does anyone ever actually go, "That's 100"? Like the word 100?
No. Speaking of, emojis have become a massive thing.
Yeah.
Emojis, instead of using slang, people use emojis now, you know, for a lot of things.
Yeah, emojis are great. I do that.
I love emojis. So, yeah. Did you want to talk about any slang words? Other slang words? I don't know.
I think we've pretty much exhausted what we can think of now. But yeah, there'll be another video coming up linked to this one.
This might be like a one part two type
Yeah,
situation.
it might be. Or there'll be another one after this. So if you randomly come across this video or watch this one, just know that there'll be another one.
Yeah.
Linked to this topic. But we'll be guessing what certain slang words mean.
Yeah, that'll be that'll be funny.
There'll be another one. So yeah, I think we'll wrap that one up there. And like I said, any slang words that you use that we've not mentioned, wherever you are in the world, tell us where you are.
You know, if you just want to laugh at us for using the slang that we think that's slang, but might not actually be slang.
Oh yeah, completely. And tell us our accents were rubbish. We butchered whatever accent we tried to do. It's probably true.
Yeah, more likely. So yeah, until the next one, we shall see you guys later.
Laters.
Laters, yes. Yeah.
Laters.